The basic essentials. Backpacking is one of the best ways to truly experience and take in the beauty that America's landscape has to offer. Out in the backcountry, taking the sights, the sounds, and the smells can either be a great experience based on the gear that you take, or a horrible experience based on the gear that you leave behind. So, what about gear? As an Eagle Scout, I feel that I have a pretty good understanding on the basic essentials to take on an overnight camping trip. So, what are those basic essentials that you should include in your backpack on an overnight backpacking trip? Hiking boots is one of the first main essentials. With comfortable feet, you're going to have a good time. And if your feet are hurt and cramped, you're more likely not having a good time. So, with a more wet and rockier terrain, you're wanting more of a high-cut boot with a lot more ankle support and also a more waterproof boot. This is a picture of a high-cut waterproof boot. The waterproof lining is a Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex is one of the best waterproofing liners in the market. You also have other waterproofing boots and waterproof sealers, but over time, water will seep into the boot and get your feet wet. This is more of a low-cut, less rigid boot. This would be better for more of the desert regions where it's a little bit warmer, so your feet could breathe a little bit better, and you'd have less weight, so your feet would have less fatigue. Water. You can't live without water. Water can be used for cooking, and also on the trail, dehydration is a very big problem in backpacking. It not only affects your body, but it affects morale of the group. It can cause you to be very grumpy at times. Some of the best ways to carry water is with an Nalgene. It is a liter. On an overnight backpacking trip, you'll need around 3 to 4 liters of water. Camelback, it kind of fits into your pack and it has a hose so you can breathe it around and so you consume more water that way. You can get those from 2 to 4 liters. AquaPure tablets, if you have a good water source where you can stop and fill up, you can put that in your water. It's more of a chlorine tablet, and you wait 30 to 40 minutes and you have clean drinking water. A more expensive water purification system, they have some that treats with ultraviolet rays, some treat with salt water, and you ionize the water to kill the bacteria, and these forms of water purification are much more expensive. Food. Food gives you energy, and without food, you're going to pretty much drag on your trail and probably not going to enjoy your time out in the backcountry. One of the best foods to eat along the way, hence the name trail mix, is a great food. For peanuts, it gives you the protein. The M&Ms give you sugar, which kind of gives you an energy hike, and the raisins in it kind of give you a longer lasting energy. For a more substantial meal, you have freeze-dried food. Mountain House is a very big backpacking food brand, and with a cup of boiling water in 15 minutes, you have a meal ready to eat. Some people go more for a more gourmet meal and this is a pancake. A lot of people take the Bisquick shaken powder and make pancakes. They also take sausage along with it. It just depends on how far you want to go out for food. Granola bars are a great food along with trail mix. Kind of eat on the trail. It gives you energy. Any type of Nutri-Grain bar, granola bar is a great snack. A compass is a very much needed commodity on any backpacking trip. In many of the state parks in the United States, the trails are marked, but sometimes the markers fall off the trees, and sometimes at trail conjunctions, the signs there may have been pushed over. Some people may move them to thinking they're funny, and you can use a backpacking map to orient it that shows the trail to determine you're on the right path. It's also a topographical map. It shows you the contour lines where you're at, and also a very good map to if you're lost, to kind of figure out where you are based on geographical features on this shown on this map. First aid kit. First aid kit, you have sterile gauze, you have Band-Aids and Neosporin, aspirin, maybe a CPR kit. The best friend with a first aid kit is that when you are hurt, someone should know how to use it, and that is one of your best friends with a first aid kit. So basic essentials are just that. They are the basics to ensure that you have a good time in the backcountry. Any experienced backpacker will have these bare minimums in their pack, but they aren't just limited to that. With the advances in outdoor gear today, many experienced backpackers pack far more than the bare essentials to ensure that they have a good time in the backcountry. So whether an inexperienced or an experienced backpacker, these basic essentials will ensure that you have a good time out in the backcountry.